I get a lot of questions from you guys about how I managed to get the touring gigs that I've had and more generally how this music thing works out here in Nashville. So I want to talk just a bit about that today. Let's do this. What's happening, everybody? I hope all is well. So that was a performance from February of last year when I was out on tour with Philip Phillips, which is my main gig right now. And to fully explain how I got that gig and some of the other touring gigs that I've had, I need to take you guys all the way back to when I first started playing the drums. So it's 1998 and I'm 12 years old, and I get super inspired by Guy from That Thing You Do, Max from Hocus Pocus, and A.C. Slater from Saved by the Bell. And I ask my folks for a drum set for Christmas. And that's where the story begins. I started playing drums at school in the concert and marching band. And I also started performing at my church in the youth group, where I met a couple buddies and we decided to form our own little Christian rock trio called Finder. And we were pretty good. We even placed third in my high school Battle of the Bands. The drums played a crucial role for me at that time in my life. I was a very self-conscious kid, and it forced me to put myself out there and perform in front of people, and it gave me a sense of confidence and purpose when I started to improve. As high school was coming to an end, I had to make a decision about college. I was lucky enough to have an accomplished percussionist band director at the time who saw potential in me and encouraged me to audition for a school called the University of North Texas. I was accepted into UNT in the fall of 2004 as a jazz studies major, and I spent the next few years practicing and performing like crazy. It was truly an amazing experience being surrounded by such high-caliber players and being put in so many different musical environments. After graduating, I stayed out in Texas for the next few years doing the local musician thing. I played a bunch of original music with friends and also did a ton of wedding gigs, jazz cocktail bars, church gigs, you name it. I even got my first touring gig with an artist by the name of Ray Johnston, who hired me and my buddy Cooper on bass. Ray also hired some heavy Dallas musicians like Bobby Sparks, Keith Anderson, and Mark Letary, who have played with all sorts of acts like the RH Factor and Snarky Puppy. I was able to make a record with this group, play on live TV, and travel the country. And it was really my first taste of what that life was like. Now, after a few years in Texas, I started to get burnt out with the gigs I was doing and realized that I needed to make a change if I was going to get those bigger gigs that I had in mind. So I packed up all my stuff and I moved out to Nashville with no job prospects of any kind and just a bit of savings. I was able to land a job at Innovative Percussion in their factory, building mallets and drumsticks, which held me over for a while until I was able to get a more stable job at the Apple Store, which is what kept me afloat during my first few years in Nashville. It was at this time that I found a place to practice at a local storage facility and got interested in social media. I started to see people finding some success on platforms like Instagram and YouTube, and started to post regularly in hopes that I could grow a following and in time land some work from it. This is really where things started to pick up for me. My videos began to be seen by quite a few people, and I got a call to play with a major label band called Love and Theft. It turned out that one of their previous drummers named Hubert Payne, who now plays for Little Big Town, had seen my videos online and referred me to them when they asked for some recommendations. This was huge for me. I began to travel around the country playing all sorts of shows. We traveled to the Middle East and Japan for 2 different USO tours, and I gained a ton of experience with the Nashville tour life. After playing with Love and Theft for a year and a half or so, I got another call. This one was for the Philip Phillips gig. As it turned out, Philip's old drum tech, who now works for Kings of Leon, had been following me online and referred me to Philip when the drum seat became available. So I made the call to move on from Love and Theft, thanked them for everything, and then went off and did a co-headlining tour with Philip Phillips and the Goo Goo Dolls. It was a surreal experience to say the least, and I've been playing with Philip for a little over a year now. I've played some amazing venues, traveled to Europe, saw firsthand how a major tour operates, and made some really good friends along the way. So as you guys can see, this social media thing that I've been doing the past few years has been a big part in opening up some opportunities for me. And I've found that the drumming community is actually really small, and that by posting good quality content, posting it fairly regularly, making sure you're networking as well, making sure you're playing drums well, that you can really open up some good quality work for yourselves. And it actually reminds me of something Steve Jordan said back in the day.
So now you know, okay, here's your chance. People would ask me, they say stuff like, you're so lucky. I say, I'm not luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. If I had sucked during this period of time, I would not have worked ever again, because I played on everything. And if I was no good, I wouldn't have been playing on anything anymore, okay? So I'd worked really hard to get to a certain point, and then I got a chance to play on some stuff, and I took advantage of the situation.
So let me throw it back to you guys. What are your drumming goals? Do you want to do this thing professionally? Do you just want to do it for fun? What inspired you to start playing drums to begin with? I'd love to hear your answers in the comments below. I hope this video gives you some insight into who I am and what this channel is all about. And I want to thank you guys for your continued support over the years. None of these opportunities would have been possible without you guys watching, so thank you. But that's going to do it for me, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give me a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. You take it easy. Bye-bye.